What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Raw review. Today we are doing the May 10th, 1993 edition, and let's get right into it. Raw opens with Shawn Michaels cutting a promo on Jim Duggan about his match later in the night. Out of nowhere, Mr. Perfect comes in and they start fighting on the outside of the Manhattan Center. And then Mr. Perfect also slams Shawn Michaels into a car. This was a good opening. I didn't expect it, and because it was abrupt, I was like, holy shit, who's attacking Shawn and why? But as the show starts, they're building some doubt for Shawn maybe losing his title because of this. Our first match is a King of the Ring qualifying match between Typhoon and Bam Bam Bigelow. Both take turns slamming each other and getting some big man offense on each other. And something to get away from this match for a quick second. The WWF probably had enough money to buy the Manhattan Center, right? They should have just bought it and made this their home base, almost what the Performance Center is today. This building has a couple of different rooms in it, which could work as a training facility, or they could have even had like a Hall of Fame ceremony in one of the rooms of the Manhattan Center. Not only as a Hall of Fame induction ceremony room, but they could also have their actual Hall of Fame because they don't have one at the moment. They don't have a physical Hall of Fame that you can go to and see everyone that has been inducted. I'm throwing that out there as well, the Hall of Fame thing, just because I hate when fans are at the Hall of Fame. Stop chanting. This is legit is not a night for you guys to stop people's promos midway just to start a one more match chant. But anyway, back to the match. Bam Bam Bigelow gets the win with a flying headbutt and qualifies for the King of the Ring. Not really much happening in that match. We then get another Smoking Guns vignette, so we're going to be seeing them debut in a couple more weeks. We're getting closer and closer week by week. And then we get Yokozuna in a jobber match. My man Yokozuna gets the win with a brutal looking bonsai drop. He gets the crotch all up in the face too. Bobby Heenan makes a statement that Yokozuna will take the belt from Hulk Hogan, so this match is already announced, which will happen at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. And speaking of which, they throw us to an update for King of the Ring with Mean Gene Okerlund. The match between Mr. Perfect and a local guy is next, and Mr. Perfect, before the match, eyes down the ring girl, the Raw girl, grabs her by her face and looks to be going for a kiss, but instead takes the gum out of his mouth and puts it in hers. Disgusting stuff there. But Perfect gets the win with a perfect plex. I was expecting Shawn Michaels to come out and at the least distract him or something because of what happened earlier, but no sign of him. Mr. Perfect will be back out for the Lumberjack match later on tonight though. Mr. Hughes gets another match on Raw against The Kid, aka Sean Waltman, aka... Nah, just playing, I'm not going to do that again. He gets the win with a chokeslam, and his manager is now Harvey Whippleman as well. The Lumberjack match is next, and we get the guys coming out, and they're all wearing plaid shirts to look like actual lumberjacks. And speaking of wood, Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out and gives Yokozuna a cheap shot before the show starts. Then Shawn Michaels comes out, but is on crutches, selling an injury from what happened with Perfect, but Perfect grabs him and tosses him inside the ring, showing everyone that he's not hurt, and the match begins. Shawn's not even dressed to compete either. He has the exact same clothes that he was attacked in earlier. Again, we get another Shawn is gay chant by the homophobic crowd in New York, but Shawn gets worn down and doing some great selling for Jim Duggan. They keep going back to the gay chant, and you can see some guys egging on the crowd and trying to conduct them to be on the same page as they chant. Shawn takes his boot off and hits Duggan in the head with it, and they bump into the ref, so he doesn't see any of that. The match comes to an end when Bam Bam Bigelow gets on the apron to distract Jim Duggan, so Shawn knees him on the back and sends him outside to where Yokozuna is. Yokozuna takes him out and sends him back in the ring. Shawn gets the foot on the chest and goes for the cover, but Perfect gets in the ring to stop him, and the match ends with a DQ. Raw ends with all the Lumberjacks brawling, but Duggan cleans house and is the last one in the ring. We might be seeing another match between them because this one ended in a DQ, but we'll see what happens there. So that's the show. Let's go ahead and get to the awards. For the best moment, I give it to the start of Raw when Mr. Perfect attacks Shawn Michaels in the street. For the worst moment, I didn't really have a problem with anything on the show. Everything that happened had its place and didn't really take away from the overall show. So I had no worst moment. And that's for the first time. I didn't have a problem with anything. For the worst match, I had Bam Bam Bigelow versus Typhoon, but again, it wasn't terrible. But if I have to pick one out of the matches on the show that wasn't a jobber match, I'll say it was this one. For the best match, I had the Lumberjack match between Shawn Michaels and Jim Duggan. Shawn was on his game for this one, and they kept the feuds between Jim Duggan and Yokozuna and Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect going in sort of different ways during this match and throughout the match. For the wackest performer, I had Mr. Hughes because I don't know what he's supposed to be, and they added Harvey Whippleman to him to make it look like there's more to him than there actually is. For the stand-up performer, Shawn Michaels, I won't explain why because I've already said a lot about how good he was on this episode. So that takes us to the overall grade for this one. I'm going to give it a B minus because like I said, there was a place for everything on the show. And there was a beginning and an end to this show. We started with Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect, and we ended with Shawn Michaels and Mr. Perfect. Sure, Jim Duggan got the last laugh, but you know what I mean. We also had an important match to qualify for the King of the Ring. We had the announcement of who was going to face Hulk Hogan for the title at the pay-per-view. 3 jobber matches, but they didn't drag, so I'll give them that. And you can always just skip those to the end. This is a show that I would recommend you rewatching if you're binge watching it or if you've never watched it ever before, because there are some advancements to feuds and future shows on this episode. So yeah, there's that, and we're gonna go ahead and add another tally to the good Raws, making it 10, and the bad Raws stay at 6. So with that being said, I'm done here. I'll catch you guys next time.